Good evening. It's time for the Friday night breakdown, and this evening we'll be using the other sense of the word breakdown, and I will be answering an Ask Gribs question from Derek Tant. I have folded this flake of Peterson's Irish flake, and now I'm going to stuff it into my Moulin Rouge Renoir pipe here, and I've had a pretty big meal. I think I can probably handle the nicotine kick. And I have some artificially sweet coffee here to wash it down with in case I can't. So this week I got a hashtag Ask Gribs question from Derek Tant, and Derek knows. Derek's Mr. Tant with his piercing questions. The hashtag Ask Gribs. Are you okay? No, Derek. No, I'm not. Smoky. Don't you love that when you're reading tobacco reviews, right? And you're like, what does this tobacco taste like? And someone's like, it's smoky. Yeah, you're burning it. Of course it's going to be smoky. Sorry, the light is all weird. I wish there was a way. Let's see if we can lock the exposure. Is that better? No. But yes, there we go. So when it gets off, I can get it back on. Okay, so we got some exposure correction going on here. And yeah, you know, I'm not remotely okay. Not remotely okay. So if you want to hear about it, we'll talk about it. Thank you, Mr. Tant, for your question. I am a father. So that's like on a scale of like awesome to not being okay. That's already like 9 out of 10. You know, like I'm a parent of a toddler. He's growing out of toddlerhood, of a preschooler. Excuse me, that's the next designation. So that's like, you know, that's 90% of the way toward like, yeah, I'm not really okay right now. And then I run my own business. And so that is like, of the 10%, it's 90% of that 10%. So now we're at like 99%, like, yeah, I'm not really making it. And add to that, that my preschooler has special needs. And so there goes the other 1%. You know, I've never really broken it down this way before, but I'm his primary like caregiver, right? Or is a caregiver the word? Or is it just like babysitter or like stay-at-home dad that like mostly just tries to work and says, shut up! You know, like that. I never tell him to shut up. Sometimes I say, be quiet! But I don't really have it in my heart to even say that. There are times when he doesn't know how to behave, and is particularly obstinate when I will say, okay, you really got to be quiet. Like, but I am not I'm not a loud person, and so we don't yell. He yells. We don't yell. I don't yell. I'm the only one that doesn't get to yell. Anyway, the point being, when you add all this stuff up, okay, so parent, business owner, parent of a special needs kid, parent who's home 40 plus hours a week with the special needs kid trying to work in the business. Was this in the business? So like these two are like, they're like at odds with each other. They're like, this is exactly what it feels like actually. Add all that together and then add a generous helping of like underlying anxiety disorder that I didn't treat until I was 35. And yeah, you got some major problems there. And I don't talk about it this way because I will never complain about the situation. I mean, not never. Of course I complain about the situation, but I never intentionally complain about the situation because at least 3 times, there were at least 3 times that my son would have died if not for the grace of God and high technology. So, and I was there each of those times, watching it all unfold, and I don't feel that I can, no matter how hard things are on me, I'm not gonna really bitch about this, you know. But Derek asked, and I will, you know, it's worth talking about. Jesus, that's plugged in. Sorry, hang on. This is what happens when you get uncomfortable, like I'm talking about an awkward subject, and so I just start messing with stuff on the table, and the Dremel tool is still plugged in from a project I was working on. We'll just put that out of my reach right there. Let's get a little more coffee in this situation. All right, so yeah, kiddo was micropreemie. Micropreemies have lots of problems. He had several of them that you can have as a micropreemie. He did not have a few of them, and that's probably why he's still alive. And our plan pre-kid was that I would work from home, as I already did, and nothing would change. I would just be sitting there, emailing clients, taking payments, right, and the kid would be like playing in a cage or whatever they play in, and you know, that would just be it. No problem. And then he showed up early, and all of that went to hell. And so I had a. You guys really want to hear about this? You've heard about it before, right? You've heard about it before. So about, let's see, it was August of it was exactly 3 years ago. August of 2015. He'd been home a few months, and I had a nervous breakdown, and I had a nervous breakdown. That's why I started this channel, is because I was at that point, when you bring home a preemie, you can't do anything with the preemie. It's like having a kid that you can't tell anyone about, because preemies are super susceptible to infection, and if you get an infection, if a preemie gets a cold, you go to the hospital, basically. Now, that didn't happen. We have only been back to the hospital twice. One time was my fault. We'll talk about that later. Twice back to the hospital. But the toll that it takes is that your family basically lives in solitary confinement for a year. There is no like taking the kid to the grocery store. There's no, I'm going to leave him at so-and-so's while I run this errand. That doesn't happen. Your kid is in your house, and you are in your house with your kid for a year. And if you have to go to a family gathering, there's like protocols that you follow, and you wash your hands, and you use a hand sanitizer, and you wear a mask if you need to, and all that sort of thing. And we did all that, and I went crazy. So I am prone to anxiety anyway. Runs in my family, hereditary, genetic, whatever. And at that point in my life, I had never really treated it. And at that point, I kind of had to treat it. It's a whole other story, but that is where I got the meds you've been hearing about me getting off of the last few videos. And so, yeah, I mean, you could say I'm not okay because I'm off the meds. You could just say that. And then, hey, that's one way of looking at it. It might be true. But the fact is that I have, when you don't see anyone for a year, you don't develop good habits for socializing your kid. There's no like, oh, let's take him over to the neighbors and play. You spend a year hiding basically from diseases, and that, hey, he's still with us. So it worked. But I've been doing this for almost 4 years now, and it'll be 4 years in December, and I can't do it anymore. Is what's going on. And so we had him all lined up for preschool. Like, that's always been the plan, is like, right? Like, I'm gonna work from home, and then one day he'll go to school, and then I'll have my life back, or some, I don't need my whole life back. Just a little bit would be nice. Like, enough time to send emails and run to the bank and do my work. And then maybe even, like, I don't know, take care of myself a little bit. I take pretty good care of myself because I have a job that allows me to do that. That's not true. I don't take good care of myself at all. But I mean, you guys see me fishing. You guys see me making videos. These are things that I do to take care of myself, because without them, I'll go insane. anyway, the plan has always been he goes to preschool, I go back to work full time, and we got money again, and I'm motivated and inspired by my job. I mean, I love my job, and I want to do my job, and I've got other people to talk to, and that sort of thing. Right, that was why I started this channel, is because I needed other people to talk to, but I couldn't leave my house. So, preschool was supposed to start Monday. Last Monday, 4 days ago, we got bounced from the preschool because they decided that they could not accommodate his special needs. So there was great wailing and gnashing of teeth about that. We decided not to pursue any sort of like, hey, you told us you could accommodate us and now you can't. And exactly why? Like, what's the deal? We won't be recommending that preschool to anyone, but we're not going to be like, we're just going to let it go and move on. It was a very fancy preschool. It was a very expensive preschool. And we were not going to be able to afford it. We were using family money. That sort of thing. But we've been looking forward to this moment for, since the spring, and he's ready. Like he doesn't really know what preschool is yet. Like he doesn't have a good grasp of it, but he is bored with me. He's done with me. He's and it breaks my heart because he'll want to play, and then he'll come in and he'll look at me like at my desk and he'll just say, Papa's working. And I'm like, God, like, and so of course I'm not, you can't just be like, yeah, I'm working, kid, get out of here. Papa's busy. Papa's working. But I can't go on running a business part-time. You don't run a business part-time. And especially not in a really competitive industry, in a really competitive market. So point being, when we got bounced from the preschool, that kind of threw the switch in my brain all the way into, no, I'm not okay. And it's been a rough, long week. And we had a tour at another preschool this morning, and it sounds like that's going to work out. It's half the price. It does not say Montessori in front of the name. I don't really care anymore, to be honest with you. If the Montessori, we weren't exactly like buying in. Like Montessori is a little bit cultish. We weren't exactly buying into all that, but all the stuff they preached about following the kid, and every kid is different, and we're like, well, yeah, he's different, he's unique. He's got some weaknesses other kids don't have, and he's got some strengths other kids don't have. So, yeah, like that sounds great. Well, yeah, then they couldn't accommodate. Right. So, you're kind of full of shit, Montessori. This particular Montessori school, like, you're kind of full of shit. And I wrote him a letter and kind of told him that. And then I was like, okay, we got to let this go. We got to let this go because if they don't want him to come there, I sure don't want him to go there. And so I'm hoping this other opportunity will work out. But in any event, my wife and I sat down last night and I just said, look, I can't do this anymore. I'm at a point in my life where, we need us. We need me to make money. I need to do my job. Like I need to do my job. And I need to not be a full-time, kid entertainer. And it's not that I don't like it. It is. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm not going to lie. There's only so many blocks you can stack on other blocks before you get kind of bored. And I have a very active, that's the problem. I have a very active mind, and I don't do well with being inside all day or being like, I value like lots of stimulus. And so does my kid. He values lots of stimulus and he's not getting it. And like the situation is no longer sustainable. He has to go to preschool. Like it doesn't matter where. As long as it's safe, he's got to go. So that was the conversation we had, and we were both in agreement. And she certainly looks at me kind of slant-eyed, like, we're kind of worried about you. And I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of worried about me too. I'm kind of going insane here. And yeah, I know there's like some of you are going to say, hey, you should just get back on the meds. Yeah, I could just get back on the meds and I'd probably be fine. But that doesn't fix the problem. Like, it just makes it easier for me to handle it. And I don't want to handle it anymore. Like, I'm kind of done with handling it. We need, like, life needs to move on. We can't, we're not, he's not a preemie anymore. You know, we're not stuck here anymore. Life needs to move on for his health as well as mine and my wife's. I mean, he needs friends. He needs, like, peers, and he's got to get out of the house just like I do. So, yeah, I mean, if we get him into a preschool and I'm still going insane, then maybe we'll think about it, getting back on the meds. I'm hoping that won't be an issue because I really enjoy being off of the meds. Although I'm not sure everyone around me enjoys me being off the meds. You know, my wife was like, I think I told you in last Sunday, my wife was like, you're kind of a dick lately. I'm like, yeah. So I'm hoping that'll even out. You know, I mean, life off the meds is, it's just a lot more intense. And I realize how numb I've been for the last 2 years. Of just not really having a lot of highs or lows, just everything just being perfectly manageable. And that's no way to live. Things being manageable is no way to live. That's not how life was meant to be. Life is meant to be unmanageable. So it's kind of a stupid thing to be upset about, you know, like, because we have plenty of friends whose kids are way, way more disabled than ours is. And whose kids can't sit up at 3 years old. And, you know, our kid he's got his issues, but he's a pretty normal kid. And, you never want to complain about the amazing fortune that we've had. But at the same time, we need to move on. Life needs to move on. So that's just an honest answer to Derek's question of, am I okay? No, I'm not. But, you know, I'm hoping that this phase of our life is going to come to an end, and that we will all be much, much happier and able to breathe a little easier, and learn to take care of ourselves. And, you know, that's a hard thing for me. I've seen 2 movies in the last year, 3 movies in the last year. I have to make it a point to play Minecraft. I have to, like, I am a workaholic by nature, and then you add the other stuff in, and I don't take care of myself. I don't relax, and then eventually your body and brain will make you relax by curling you up on the couch in a fetal position. So I'm really trying hard not to do that. Don't want to do that. Bad news. So thank you all for being part of. See, I had to take the bit out of the Dremel so I wouldn't cut my finger off while I was talking about this. Thank you all for being part of one of the ways in which I maintain my sanity and stay off the couch. So we got some Grib Grinds videos coming out. If you're a Minecraft fan, subscribe over there. The channel is just called Gribs Grinds. Gribs with an S, Grinds with a Z. I always say I'm going to put a link in the description. I never do. So I'm not even going to say it this time. I think there's going to be a misadventure coming out. There's a sad story about the Bothy coming out maybe tomorrow. And then, of course, Sunday Anti-Socials in 2 days. And then it'll be a whole new week. Thank you for watching. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind. Derek, thank you wholeheartedly for your concern. I might not even call you like a smelly strudel breath this time. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything like that.